In a recent tweet, Brad, you posted, and I quote you, if job seekers have a lack of experience or a skill set, acknowledge it upfront. Acknowledge it and explain to them that they can still add value. Mm-hmm. Employers are looking for the right fit, and no skill set can be trained. And I feel that this is kind of a follow-up from the previous conversation that we talked about culture, cultural fit, and things that then people can be trained on some of the skill set or the soft skill set that we've been talking. So can you elaborate more? What do you mean?
Absolutely. First of all, you don't want to lie and you don't want to cover things up. A lot of employers are finding those things out, and when they do, you don't get the job. It's over. The reality is, in most cases, whenever you've had a difficult situation, you can learn from it. And I think if you can portray to your employer what you gained from that, what you learned from it, you can actually let them know that you're worth hiring, even if you're missing a skill set, et cetera.
Yes.
But here's what I mean. We are in a day and age where organizations are flatter. They're doing less with more. Budgets have shrunk or stayed flat, but expectations have increased, and people are being pushed to their limits. That is the reality of today's work life. So employers are looking for one thing and one thing only. They're looking for people that can do. They're looking for people who can achieve. They also know that we're at a 3.7% unemployment rate in the United States, and other places have a low unemployment rate as well, which means that they're not going to get perfect people.
Yeah.
They're going to invest in people. So am I going to invest in someone that has demonstrated that they can achieve great things? Or am I going to hire somebody who has basic skills? Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to look for both. But if you're going to have to choose between someone who gets things done with whatever they've touched, they've made it better, versus someone that went to a course on how to use Word, you're choosing the achiever. I can teach Word. I can't teach someone to do that.
But then everyone is trying to find that achiever. So how can a job seeker choose between company A and company B? So, and we talked about that culture is also plays a great role. Employee engagement plays a role. Diversity and inclusion plays a role. So what should companies do then?
Sure. Companies or employees?
Employers. What can employers do to attract this talent?
Well, I think that the key thing is branding and telling your story are an ongoing effort. And it's not just to customers, it's to your community as well. And so I think what employers need to do is they need to share what is unique and different about them. You know, the truth is, if you have restaurants in your community, and you go to certain ones and you don't go to others.
Yeah.
And guess what? The ones you don't go to, other people go to. Why? Because you have certain tastes, and they have certain tastes. Organizations tend to come across bland because they're afraid of putting a stake in the ground because they don't want to have employees or potential employees, candidates, get turned off by them. The truth is, you also, by taking that stance, by being plain vanilla, by being bland, you're not turning people on. And so the truth is, employers need to tell their story loud, clear, in the community when they're hiring, when they're not hiring. They need to demonstrate examples of it. They need to be known for it. And when they are, people will flock to them. People didn't go to Apple because they liked Steve Jobs. They went to Apple because they respected Steve Jobs and they were intrigued by what he was doing. They thought Apple had a pulse on their customers, on the basic public. And they connected that pulse of what they saw in the public to technology. And that excited people. You know, people will go where they're excited to go. And the only way they can get excited is if you tell your story.